The dream is over. The UK Supreme Court has unanimously ruled that the Scottish Government cannot hold an independence referendum without Westminster's permission, dealing a blow to First Minister Nicola Sturgeon's efforts to take Scotland out of the Union. This is good news because the case for Scottish independence raises more questions than a Gary Barlow tax return. Firstly, what currency would Emperor Sturgeon use? The SNP glibly assume it would be the pound. Well, the Treasury will have something to say about that. Who will defend Scotland in the unimaginable scenario of a foreign attack, particularly given that Nicola wants to nuke the nukes? Sturgeon is committed to getting rid of Trident, exposing Scotland at a time when monsters like Putin are rampaging across Eastern Europe, and when China circles a sharpened pencil around the map of Taiwan. The golden promise of Scottish independence is EU membership, but would Spain accept this and risk losing Catalonia? And how would the EU protect their beloved single market with an open border between England and Scotland? Good luck with that. That the SNP wants sovereignty only to hand it over to Brussels shows how irrational and incoherent this plan is. No control of their currency, as they would have to take the euro. No control of their borders with Schengen. No control of their courts, plus huge monthly payments for the privilege of membership. It all doesn't add up. Talk about jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. And the last time I checked, the EU isn't great with small countries. Exhibit A, Greece, who was skewered like a kebab by Angela Merkel and friends. What happens to democracy north of the border if Scotland leave the Union? With Labour support at an all-time low, and with the brief Tory renaissance strangled at birth, you're looking at single-party rule under Emperor Sturgeon, possibly for decades. It's my view that an independent Scotland would be poorer, more divided, and of course, more woke. Don't forget about Emperor Sturgeon's various policies. For example, children as young as 5 being able to change their name or pronoun without parental permission. Civil servants in Scotland have been ordered to write he, him, or she, her on their emails. And so-called hate crime laws are now so draconian that you could potentially get arrested for making an off-colour remark in your own home. Under the politically correct ideology of the SNP, the Holy Church of Woke, the likes of national hero Billy Connolly would be strung up for his wonderfully naughty comedy. And don't be fooled by the electoral success of the SNP. They are sitting pretty on the electoral map due to the hopeless collapse of Labour and the Tories. But it doesn't mean that they're loved and respected. There's just no alternative. And a vote for the SNP is not necessarily a vote for independence. Scotland would be more divided if she left. And the reason why is because this country, a beautiful country though she is, was horribly split over Indy Ref 1, and a Scottish departure from the UK would cement that divide. It's been reported, and many of you have written to me on this show to confirm, that those who voted for Scotland to stay in the UK keep their views quiet for fear of reprisals, attacks on social media, trouble at work or socially. And one particular viewer told me in an email that if you openly campaigned for Scotland to stay, you might get a brick through your window. That's how sectarian this has become. In the end, Scottish independence just makes no sense. The United Kingdom is the greatest political union in history. Great Britain is a beacon of diversity. It's the 5th biggest economy in the world and is a political, diplomatic, military and creative powerhouse. I'm not saying Scotland would not survive outside. Of course it would. Scotland will always prevail. Scotland is an incredible country. Its people are the best. But Scotland would be weaker and poorer, as would England, Northern Ireland and Wales. You see, we need each other. That's always been the beauty of the relationship, a reciprocal partnership that has provided economic and political stability for over 300 years. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. The temptation, of course, is to call Nicola Sturgeon's bluff and grant her the referendum. Let her really sell what I'm calling muck Brexit. Given it's such a terrible idea, I just can't see how a majority of Scots would vote for it. The advantage of calling her bluff is that it would lance the boil of independence and kill this idea forever. And with that, likely Emperor Sturgeon's political career. Because independence is the only thing that she's got to offer. Outside of that, her only achievements are disastrous health outcomes, failing education policies, and appalling levels of drug addiction. Independence is Sturgeon's political fig leaf, behind which you will find nothing. In the absence of independence, it will be immediately clear Sturgeon is the emperor with no clothes. The naked truth is that an independent Scotland would be a disaster for Scotland and a tragedy for the UK. And Nicola knows it. I do hope this bagpipes down.